on the screen or something. Oh, hi, this is Charlotte Pearson, the producer of Ready Row USA, and welcome to our 127th episode and the latest one in our ocean rowing series, which we love to cover as just kind of an interesting exploration of what motivates people to row across the ocean, the Atlantic and Pacific. Now, I'm sure there are other oceans that are that people row, but we're focusing on the Atlantic and Pacific. And we have the Antigua and Barbuda Island Girls. Is that correct, Samara?
Antigua. Team Antigua.
Team Antigua.
Yes.
Okay. But your website is Antigua Barbuda Island Girls, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I have a lot of noise coming from your yeah, I'm so sorry. That is not gonna, I can't really hear you. Do you want to try, why don't you try your Bluetooth again? Just so that.
Me?
Yeah, Samara. Because we're getting a lot of noise from you. But anyway, and as we fix that, we will go through Kevinia. Is it Kevinia?
Yes, Kevinia.
Kevinia. And we have Christal. Want to say hello?
Yes, it's Christal.
Christal Clashing. Yes.
Yes.
And we have Elvira.
Elvira, hi.
Elvira, hi. So nice to have you all on and to hear about your experience on the Atlantic, but looking ahead to the Pacific, which I just want to know what motivated you to do this again, and we'll get into that in a second. But I wanted to go through our let's mute, and then I will go through and acknowledge our sponsors who make all this possible, and they include Burnham Boat Slings. Peter Kermond is one of my favorite people in rowing, and I visited with them up in Lebanon, New Hampshire recently. We wish all the best to Peter and the company as the and we'll see them at the U.S. regattas coming up this fall, including the Head of the Charles. So if you haven't got your order in for the Head of the Charles pickup, do it now. It's really, it's time, and I'm sure they'll do their best to make it happen. But our next sponsor is Good Inklings, which does my website, which you're looking at now if you're watching live, readyrowusa.com. I love it so much. I took this picture of, this is a new rowing, this is a learn to row class at 5:30 in the morning. And I love this picture. It doesn't show rowing, but it shows like the potential that these people and the determination they have to come out at 5:30 in the morning and learn to row. It's just the coolest thing. This is the community rowing. Good Inklings will do a website audit for free for our listeners. So just contact Laura Williams at goodinklings.com and tell her that you heard about her offer on the Ready Row USA Antigua broadcast. Resolute and Sykes. I own a Sykes rowing shell, and I love it very much. It still knows more about rowing than I do. But Resolute is a renowned manufacturer of very long-lasting boats and great boats. So thank you all for sponsoring the broadcast and the podcast. We love to connect with our listeners. ReadyRowUSA.com is the hashtag. So use that on social media, and we will follow you or search you out and award rowing gadgets, gear, and services. We love to do that. So it's just kind of a fun thing that we do. This image is a picture of one of my rows on the Charles River down to the head of the Charles start line and back. That's my kind of favorite row. It's so cool. Anyway, let's get to our talk with the Antigua Island Girls. Let me just make sure I've got the right. Samara, are you with us? Yeah.
I am.
There we go. There you are. Yes. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the team, where you are now, what motivated you to try this Pacific challenge, which is kind of rather amazing. After, let's see, have you rested up from your Atlantic row?
Yes, we have rested, recovered, and we have begun training intensely for our next tour. And I think collectively we've all agreed that we have spirits of adventure. So that's number one, our love of adventure. We also enjoy doing something great for country and charity. And of course, our spirit of competitiveness. So when you merge all those things together, we have Team Antigua Island Girls.
And it's Antigua. I always pronounce it
Yes,
wrong. I'm sorry.
Antigua and Barbuda.
Barbuda, not Barbuda.
Yes.
Antigua and Barbuda.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And yeah, I'm a little geographically challenged, but where are you in terms of, like things like I might recognize?
So we're in the heart of the Caribbean, just next to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Everybody knows Puerto Rico, or the Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat. We're right in that nice little organization of the Eastern Caribbean states.
Did you get any effects from the hurricane?
Elvira.
Luckily, no, we're pretty blessed. We're lucky that that is concerned. Antigua has been lucky for the past, I don't know, past 10, pretty lucky. Barbuda, however, did suffer, let's say 6 years ago, because around the time that the guys rose, Barbuda did suffer, but Antigua was missed. Pretty lucky where that is concerned.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, we're getting hit right now by this latest one, and it's pretty bad in Florida. But listen, so you row on salt water, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And you tell us a little bit about how you organize the boat and the team for there's fundraising, I suppose, and you want to talk a little bit about your sponsors and your charity?
Samara.
Yes, so we're actively in the fundraising stage. As you see on screen right now, the first official partner is this project.
Sam, maybe you should come join me, because the feedback is really bad.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, so Christal, if you want to answer while Sam come and join you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the budget go first.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Elvira. Go ahead.
Budget Marine is one of our first corporate sponsors. Also, we did have some assistance from the Ministry of Tourism. As a matter of fact, they're the first to come forward with that to assist us for the down payment of our boat.
Yeah.
Besides that, we did create a GoFundMe. Not moving as fast as we hoped it would. We are planning other things in the stages. We are trying to get ahead. Hopefully sooner than later, because of course the war is next year. Christal can tell you a bit about the charity that we're doing now.
Yeah. Am I showing is this the sponsor in this picture here?
Correct. Yes, that's the Budget Marine. Basically, it's a boat store. Anything that you need for your boat, you can get there. So we're working on with them.
Did they arrange for you to get the boat, and is this the same boat as you used in the Atlantic row?
It's a similar boat by the same manufacturer, but it's supposed to be it's tweaked a bit. It's supposed to be lighter, faster. So it's not the exact same one. And they didn't necessarily, they help us with a payment as well for the boat. We need more payment to get the boat. So we haven't quite finished paid for it as yet.
That's really nice. And tell me a little bit about the charity that you're raising funds for.
Yeah, so you want me to? I'll jump in on this for a little bit. So we've been working. Well, we at the very beginning when we formed a group, a team, way back in 2018, we decided that we would form a charity ourselves, and because we're very passionate about continuing the work of supporting young women in need in Antigua and Barbuda. And so that translated to this time round working with the social services arm of our government to support young women who are in a transitionary state, who are in need with any social legal issues or social issues. So we are working closely with several bodies to bring some funds in to support that cause.
That's great. And all that is on your website, which I believe I showed up earlier. Yes, Antigua and Barbuda Island Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the information, if people want to support you, is there. Is that right?
You can also follow our journey on our different social media handles, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We put out weekly stuff to say, well, sometimes daily, to say what we're doing. So they know that we're not just sitting down. What we're doing, we're out training, trying to get food, different stuff like that. You know,
I saw your one a couple days ago on Instagram where you were like talking about some of the history of the bay there where you were rowing. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about like what it's like to the training program, like how are you like in full training mode for 2023?
Well, yes. We started training officially back in January of this year. So we do weekly rows for now. Every Saturday we're out on the water for like 2 to 4 hours, just depends on the day and the weather. Our boat is currently housed over at Antigua Slipway. They're one of our sponsors. They're housing our boats for us, making sure that she's looked after. So we launch from there. And it happens to be in the very historic and scenic Nelson's Dockyard. So it's a perfect place to train. And once you have calm waters inside the harbor, and then once you go out of the mouth of the harbor, then you're hit with the Atlantic conditions. And as you know, we're in the middle of our hurricane season, so the water this time of year is a little bit more choppy, a little bit more windy. So we're really taking in those conditions to help us prep for next year's row.
We're also in the gym, so yeah.
That's a good attitude to have. I think, we, with the flat water boat, they're what they call classic rowing now, which I do. It's like, I welcome the conditions, whatever they are, within reason. But, because if you go to a regatta, you're going to have to deal with that, whatever's happening that day. So, yeah. So you do you have have you started thinking about stocking the boat, and tell me a little bit about what you do with
if you have watched some of our videos, you would see that we have been trying the food. Last time around, everything was so last minute, like you said. The previous team came in 2017 January, and then by 2018 January, sorry, and then by 2018 December, it was time for us to go. So everything was rushed. We were taking advice and assistance, and we got sponsored, different stuff like that. We didn't have time to prepare and actually try the food. So this time around, we're trying to actually try the food, be more selective, and not just out in the water. It's going to be tough out there, but we want to be as comfortable as possible, especially with the food and the snacks and stuff like that. We were pretty much homesick after a minute. We missed our local condiments, hot sauce and fresh food and fruits and stuff like that. So this time we want to be a little bit more prepared. So I said, if you do see our TikToks or Instagrams, we've been sharing bits and pieces here and there. You asked about the storm, Tropical Storm Fiona passed the other day. So we went down to Slipway, make sure the boat was secured properly. We checked afterward to make sure there was no damage on the boat and stuff like that. Then we got back on the water. And then we're going to do a video on that, but we bought some shoes to try these water shoes out last time around. A few of us, our feet were completely ruined. I was one that the plate went through the back of my feet. It was painful and terrible, but I had to endure it. So we bought some shoes. It's not doing great for me, so I bought to do a video on that. I think I needed some high tops or something. So we're trying to, do everything as much as possible, be a little bit more prepared with the little extra time that we have.
Yeah, right. Well, I think I remember seeing a little thing about your feet, the foot issue and the hands. Yes. So do you have a YouTube channel where people can watch some of these?
Unfortunately, no YouTube. Just wish we had the film crew to handle that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We just have the Instagram, TikTok, which kind of locate little short videos.
I've started trying out TikTok. It's a whole, for someone my age, it's like a little bit of a bridge too far. But I'm trying. So what else would you like to say about your experience and what your plans and your training? Anyone else want to chime in? Do you love a lot of technical things, like do you have to learn the navigation system, and you're out there rowing all by yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes, we're pretty much, it's an unassisted race, and so everything that you need to survive for in excess of 30 days has to be on the vessel.
Yeah.
So we have a pretty extensive medical kit. So if anything, any accidents happen out there, I can stitch them up.
No, we won't.
So we have the medical kit, we have a tool bag, we have spares, we have the backup to the backup, and we also, which is really great with Atlantic campaigns, we have 24-hour access to a medical doctor, tech teams for any malfunction, any mishap that happens on the boat. They are able to communicate with us and talk us through fixing certain things or doing minor surgery. No surgery. Fingers crossed. But yes, we do have an awesome support team in Atlantic campaigns, and they make sure to do everything possible to make sure that the race is a safe race.
Yes.
Pretty much when you're out there, you're on your own. They do have 2 vessels that follow along the fleet, one in front, one in the back, but of course they're sailing vessels, so they're not always able to get to you in appropriate time. So you're on your own, and you just have to make sure that you are fully prepared for whatever conditions you meet out there. Even a paper cut, you have to be prepared. You have to know how to deal with certain conditions out there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a little slice on your finger could develop into something serious, so you have to be on top of it, I guess. So like, how many miles is this, or kilometers, if you use kilometers?
So this the Pacific is actually 200 nautical miles shorter than our Atlantic crossing.
Okay.
So it's the Atlantic for us was 3,000 miles. Supposedly, we rode more than that, but it's a 3,000 mile crossing, and the Pacific is going to be 2,800. But even though it's a shorter race, it's actually more difficult the first 7 to 10 days, trying to leave outside, trying to leave the currents that are pulling you into the big landmass of this the mainland United States, because we leave from the coast of California to head to Hawaii. And so those first few days will be quite challenging. So we're preparing for that.
That's awesome. Anyone else want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, so not only is it less miles, we are expecting, like Christal mentioned, tougher conditions. Even if we've been told the wildlife, the sea life, bigger,
Yeah.
bigger creatures,
And more inquisitive.
which Sam is terribly afraid of sea creatures. The rest of the team, we welcome and want them to visit. Sam screams and knocks the oars, but we are looking, all of us except Sam, we're looking forward to seeing some of the wildlife experiences.
Except
the
Sam.
wildlife.
I'm actually keeping them safe from the wildlife. They don't appreciate it. Though.
Good. Yeah, you have the force field that you're yeah.
But the one thing that we might do, last time Christal was the only one we sent over to clean the barnacles.
Oh, is
This
that
time-
right? Yeah, she's got the barnacle duty. Okay.
But
Yeah.
this time Elvira has volunteered to assist her, so they'll take turns.
Is
Sam
that
and I
true,
won't be going
Elvira?
in.
So what was in the Atlantic, what was the most amazing thing that, experience you had? Was it with a creature or?
I think it was different for each of us. I'll start. For me, it was the first time I've ever seen a moonbow was on the Atlantic, a perfect rainbow at night. It's called a moonbow. So for me, it was the sunsets and the sunrises, and just the stars seem so much closer and brighter and bigger. So for me, it was more of the scenic view. Everybody else had different.
For me, I think, yes, the scenery was very lovely. We had some awesome sunsets and sunrises out there. I mean, we only had like 3 to 4 days where we didn't have any moon. But believe it or not, when you're in the middle of the Atlantic, there are no building, no smog, no clouds to pretty much inhibit the view. So you're seeing all the constellations, you're seeing this night sky very clearly, and it's just beautifully lit up, especially when the moon is up. And then I think the next best part of that is our arrival home. We had a really huge and warm welcome. So that was the highlight for me.
Yeah.
I think
this-
for me, like the other lady said, I did enjoy the scenery. I loved observing the nature that's on its own, doing its own thing, the way the waves went up and went down. And then we had dolphins every day. Dolphins literally followed us every day. There was this one particular day, it was like a super pod, a bunch of different species of dolphins, like they were on their way to, Sam said they were on their way to convention, like different, like ones you would see in like Flipper, like the gray one, the long nose, black and gray, like so many different species of dolphins just went past the boat, and they even came and visited us on Christmas evening. So like every day we saw dolphins. That to me was amazing. And I know that we were protected because they usually say where there are like pods of dolphins and stuff like that, there are no sharks. Even though I wouldn't mind seeing a shark at a distance.
A shark at a distance, sure.
Safe, you know?
Did you hear about that boat last year? Can't remember which one it was, but like a swordfish.
Yeah, the what is it called?
The Marlins.
The marlin.
Marlin was poking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the boat we're training on Crusader was one that was hit. Yeah, and repaired. Yeah.
But not that one particular.
No, that
Yes,
was
that particular
the one?
yes, that's the one. Yes, it has been repaired. It was 3 marlin strikes last year. It was 3 different vessels.
Wow. So did they kind of see it as something to,
No,
Probably
they think
chasing
it was
food.
just chasing food, and the boat happened to be in the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't look like lunch or something.
No,
I hope not.
Oh, well, listen, I love this picture of you all as beautiful, dressed up women. This is just so amazing. This picture. I love the kind of the what do you call it? The contradiction or, between like the fierce sort of athletic rowers and this wonderful picture of you.
Time, yes.
Yeah, I love this one. This is so great. Well, listen, we have, this has been so much fun, and I would like to follow you, just tag Ready Row USA on, any of your social media, and I'll amplify what you're doing. So I really appreciate you coming on today. We have a lot of plans for our 4th anniversary celebration for Ready Row USA. We call it the Row-a-Palooza, and I think we're going to do 5 episodes this year, like we did last year. What makes a great rowing club, and then people who make rowing their life and their career, what they go through to make that happen. We have a customer service hall of fame, which is just companies that are nominated by our audience and ourselves that do a really great job of servicing the rowing industry, and have NK Speed Coach manufacturers are one, Row Source is one, Burnham Boat Slings, of course, and there's several others you'll find on our website, Customer Service Hall of Fame. We just love acknowledging and honoring them. The makers of rowing, these are manufacturers, what it takes to be a successful manufacturer, and we will be touching base with the Rowing Industry Trade Association on that episode. And then Row for Your Life Fitness, and these are Antigua and Barbuda Island Girls are certainly experiencing a high level of fitness. Rowing is really great for people in all of stages of life. So we're going to be talking a little bit about fitness and maintaining and avoiding injury and things like that in our Row-a-Palooza birthday celebration. Upcoming series, Arts and Letters, the Arts of Rowing, people who integrate rowing and into their art and writing. U.S. Rowing Convention preview. We do club spotlights all the time. We just love to drop in on random clubs around the country and the world. So Antigua and Barbuda, if you want to do a club spotlight, just fill out our form at readyrowusa.com, and we will spotlight that in one of our episodes. Learn to Row is a big one for us, and also Rowing to Recovery. We had Kirsten Klein, who's a world champion indoor rower, on last week, talking about her the role of rowing in her sobriety journey. And we're going to be doing in October a breast cancer. There's a number of organizations that use rowing to help their members recover from breast cancer. There's a lot of different aspects of recovery that we would like to talk about in that series. We do industry updates, and of course, ocean rowing. We did in February, the readyrowusa.com/ocean-rowing, I think is the URL for that. So you can check out our Atlantic Challenge interviews on that episode. We have a forum on our website, readyrowusa.com. Send in your club news and your favorite gadgets and gear. We love to find new little things that you can use to improve your rowing or make it more fun, or just like, I'm a gadget freak, so I just, I'll try anything. I also have a publishing company. We have a new children's book coming out called Oceans Alive, and it's about a little boy who wears a kilt, and we don't know why he wears a kilt, but he just does, and he rallies his friends to save the ocean. So this kind of goes along with our episode today with the Antigua and Barbuda Island Girls. I'm practicing my pronunciation. We also have a Who's Hiding in This Book about 10 famous authors, and we're going to be taking that to the Boston Book Festival this year, doing signings with the author, Sheila Cordner. Again, Burnham Boat Slings, thank you for sponsoring. Resolute and Sykes, you're the best. And Good Inklings, contact Laura Williams for a website audit, and she will make it happen for you. Thank you all. Let's just say goodbye, and any other things that you would like to, any other, anything you'd like to add? Any shout outs? Do you have a coach that you'd like to acknowledge?
So, well, we would like to just acknowledge and thank all of our supporters, corporate, the local support is amazing. So we want to thank all of our supporters, every single one, from adults to children in school. Without them, this wouldn't be as much fun as it is. And definitely we look forward to our journey next year, being competitive, completing it. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at Team Antigua Island Girls. And we look forward to sharing more content and getting feedback from our supporters. And thank you, Charlotte, for having us, Ready Room USA. We appreciate, the shout out from you also.
Yeah, well, we're big fans and supporters, and we wish you well, and just keep us posted. Thank you so much for being on. You're the best. Bye.